Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, August 12th, 2024, here for my weekly cross-stitching update. I have a lot to share today, so I'm just gonna jump right in. We'll start, as always, with travel stitching. So I worked on my temperature turtles yesterday. This is one of my designs, and I'm in the August turtle. I don't think we'll get this a whole week of super hot temperatures, but you never know. We haven't hit the end of the month yet, but here we are. It has been rather warm. This is 28 count Caribbean Blue Jobelin by Witchelt, 1/1 full cross. So I finished the patches for this week, which includes several in the hundreds. There's two more that were my second hottest color and a couple more that were third hottest color. We should be down this week, should be in the 90s only, so we'll see. And I did manage also to go and fill in the straight stitches on the July turtle, which is always fun to help them look fully complete, and then I'd have I'm more caught up, so I can just enjoy my stitching. The rest of the thread from this, I finished off this flipper, the head, and started this flipper. So I still have a little bit of that flipper left, but I can get to that next week or this coming week. I work on this on Sunday. It's usually enough to keep it caught up. And my travel stitching has gone very well because I've been working on this piece, and on Sundays also my turtles. It takes precedence on Sundays, but I've been working on Cats and Hearts for stitching minutes according to how many medals the United States has had in the Olympics that day. So it went all the way through Sunday. We still had a few that we earned Sunday morning. So I kept up on it, but I did work on, I counted things when I was out and about. So at the very beginning, the amount of minutes wasn't too bad. And so I would say, okay, if I have an out and about time, doctor's offices, waiting time, etc., that won't count towards my Olympic stitching. But as this past week, most days were up in the 50s, at least, of amount of minutes. I'm like, that's a lot. So when I was out waiting for things, I would count that towards my minutes, and it really helped. So otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to get to my focus pieces. So that worked. I think I got rid of the cover page for July because I finished July. So I've already trimmed it down and it's in its frame. So here's the before and after of July. This is by Kitty and Me, and I'll show you the cover page of August so you can see there. But yeah, this one had a lot of backstitching, more than any other. Most of the time there's just a little bit of backstitching, but this had every little section had stems, and then this was all filled in. There was vertical lines. Yeah, and all of them have the one around the edge. But this is an example of probably the most backstitching I've come across so far. But then August, which is this one, has probably one of the ones with the least. I don't think January was too much. January had a little bit in the snowflakes. This one just has a little bit here in the curly cues around the edge here of the vines. And then all of them, like I said, have this inner border of the heart. But this is August by Kitty and Me Designs. I've had a few questions recently about where to get these. I found these on Etsy. Kitty and Me Designs she has an Etsy shop, and that's the only place I found them. Some of her designs are sold paper copies elsewhere, but not these ones. I couldn't find these anywhere else. So if you want them, I would head over to her Etsy shop. I showed you August's cover page because I started August. Actually got a good amount done too. So here is the start of August. This is 25 count, 1/1 full cross, just white even weave. All of these are on white, 25 count, and I finished the medium green. That green was, as you can see, everywhere. It gave a nice structure to the whole project. It was easy to count between motifs, so that seemed the best color to start with. So that was there. in all of these, there tend to be 5 shades of each color. So there's 5 greens in this one, 5 yellows, 5 corals. So this is the medium green. And a few little lengths of gray to start the kitty cat. So that's fun. My boys started school today. My daughter starts Thursday. So this one will probably get a little bit more, it'll get a little bit of time while I'm waiting for them after school. My oldest is driving himself home. He drove both of him and his brother to school this morning. My heart drove away without me. So they're on their own, but he gets out around lunchtime and my younger son stays later. So I'll go back to get him. I'll be going back to get my daughter eventually, you know, and so I'll have a little bit of waiting time for those two. So I should go back to an okay amount of travel stitching for that one. So we'll see if I need to supplement it with anything to keep on track or skip another month like I did. I skipped May because I got behind, so we'll have to wait and see. I did work on Castle Homecoming once when I talked with my sister, but also it got a whole night of regular stitching time too. So this is coming along nicely. And this is 28 count ice blue Lugana 1/1 full cross with a color conversion with fancy floss. So hopefully you could tell what I did. I worked mostly on this tree. Got the tree completely done. There's 3 different greens in the leaves and 1 brown all through there. There was some brown on my needle, so I did the tip of this dragon's wing as well. And then there was some more on my needle for one of the greens, and so I started the troll down here, and then I think that's all I did. So that's a lot, but it was good. So I think I'm gonna probably finish these little critters as well, but I'll focus on the dragon mostly next. Then I like to focus on the bridge so that all the bits underneath can be easily counted too. So that's kind of my plan. And it's coming along. I also was able to pull out my Soda Stitch flower teapot, which I'm working on with my friend Desiree, who's working on this as well. So we stitch on it mostly just when we're chatting. So we chatted this week and I worked on it. So I did some blue of the teapot. So here is this one. This is 32 count Tiki Oasis linen by Oak Crown Studios. Ring it 2/2. And there's a 1 strand backstitch. And so this time I worked on blue in here, blue in the handle, and some darker blues in the spout. So I'm trying to think. I think I have a little bit more to do, like here maybe and here before, but I want to get some backstitching done pretty soon. So we'll see if I get to that next time or do another round of cross stitches before I go to backstitching. Because it is fun to kind of let it pop and completely finished as you go along, but you got to have whole sections finished to make it make sense. Not quite there yet, almost. I think that's all of the miscellaneous things. So my first regular project, which went along with the Naptime Stitchers Olympic Challenge that that she was posting on Instagram. Monday's theme was favorite designer, so I chose the Victoria sampler, which is one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. But this is the Heirloom Nativity sampler, and I realized when I pulled it out that I have finished everything through this scene, so I just have this bottom bit to go, so that was very exciting. I hadn't remembered that I was that far. So this time I did what I had hoped to, and here it all is. And I got the words and the specialty stitch band completed. This is 32 count silver linen by MCG Textiles. I'm pretty sure. The specialty stitch band has some beads in it. I don't know if you can tell, but so that's fun. Then I went to look through the heart hanger instructions and was a little bit disappointed with the level of detail that they had in this particular pattern. For example, they say, you know, use this particular thread to make the satin stitches and cluster blocks. But there were no identifying diagrams to say what a cluster block is. For someone who has never done heart hanger, I need a little bit of more than just that. So I went to Needlebug, her Flosstube channel, because I knew she had some heart hanger tutorials. So I went ahead and watched several of her beginning heart hanger tutorials, found out what a cluster block was, and kind of got some of her tips. So the next time I pull this out, I'll get to work on heart hanger. So that'll be fun. I'm not too nervous about it. I think it should be pretty straightforward. The section's not super huge. And I'm not really that scared about cutting because I have a lot of sewing, garment sewing background. So I have cut buttonholes a lot. So I've did machine buttonholes, I've done hand stitch buttonholes, and you cut the fabric once you're confident that your buttonhole stitch has been done well. So yes, the first time you do that is a little scary, but I think since I have that experience, it won't be quite as scary as someone who hasn't done that before. So I'm excited actually to work on that. So I don't know exactly when that will come out again because I do have some other things I'd like to finish first. So we'll have to wait and see, but that's coming up shortly. Stay tuned. My next one was Beartime Stories. I put a day in on this. The theme for this one was animal for the Olympics challenge, which the Olympics challenges were very fun, but it will be nice. I'm gonna have about a week break here with nothing, and then I'm gonna launch into the Vuelta de España, which is like a Tour de France bicycle race in Spain, and see if I can do some bonus stitching for that. So we'll see. We'll see how my time plays out, but it'll be nice to kind of have nothing extra this week, and I may drop the bicycle race if it proves to be too much for me, but we'll have to wait and see. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Randall Spangler. There's some little animals in there, albeit stuffed and imaginary, but they are still animals. And I'm working on this, normally extreme cross country, but right now, well, it is still extreme cross country. I have been working on it least colors to the most colors, but I'm currently working on a color with lots of stitches, not the next most, not the most stitches left, but one of the bigger colors, just because it was a couple times ago I needed that. So I'm still working on that color, and then I actually found an error. This is 40 count Verdal 1/1 half cross. This is the whole design. And right here, you can kind of see some fuzz. I had maybe 15 blue stitches put in there, and then I realized there was a couple dark gray 37.99 stitches, just 2, that were in the wrong spot. Then I counted off of those. And then the little blue chunk I'd stitch wasn't fitting. Like, what is happening? Thankfully, those 2 stitches was all that was wrong. So I took those out. I didn't have enough little bits left to restitch them. So I think there's some 37.99 in my Castle Homecoming. So I'll probably put those in when I do that because that color was completed already. So it was like, oh, that's annoying. To have to put it out for literally 2 over 140 count stitches seems like a waste. But if I have it out for the castle in the coming weeks, I will fix this then. And so next time I pull this out, which I think is next week, no, 2 weeks from now, end of the month, I'll give it its second day. I'll keep going here with the rest of that dark blue that didn't get finished. So that kind of halted my progress a little bit, but I still got 360 stitches, not counting the ones I took out. Oh, here it is. So I had frogged them, and Pattern Keeper removes them from your count when you frog. So it was probably more like 375, but 360 are in there right now. And it's now at 25.26%, so that's pretty nice. Then I worked on Castle Homecoming for the theme Stitch Along, which makes sense because it was Stitch Along. Then Thursday the theme was Can't Wait to Work on It. So I pulled out my new start for the month of August. Oh, it's in here. Because I was looking forward to this, and I was not disappointed. My progress is not super exciting, but I enjoyed working on it nonetheless. So this is Meadow by Carolyn Manning. It's one of her bouquet collections, and I liked this one because it's not 100% symmetrical. The center is symmetrical, but each corner is different, and it's not full coverage. You can see the fabric show through, so I got a nice green, and I'm excited about it so far. And it's very small. It's so cute. I think it's 113 by 113, and I'm stitching it on 25 count, 1/1. This is not the right one. Where is it? Here it is. So it's tiny. It's so cute. Here's my start. This is 25 count moss green. It's a little greener than you're seeing, but that's okay. So I went ahead and stitched all the way across. So this is the full width of the pattern. My hand is like, it's tiny. My hands are not big either. They look big in the picture when I hold them up. This is the very edge. I went along and counted, like this is just a solid color. None of this, it's all DMC. So I did a like half stitch and then crossed my 10th and half stitch, crossed my 10th all the way to the end so I didn't have to use pins, and got that fully counted out. And this is the center. So I'm gonna come down, I still have some on my needle, and I'll pull this out again, I think this week. Yes, this will come out again this Thursday. I'll finish this corner of the border, and then I can start filling in colors. So I thought that'd be fun. So 1/1 full cross on 25 count moss. And I got my copy of this on her website directly, Carolyn Manning's website. And if you get them there as PDFs, they work in Pattern Keeper. So yes, please. Very nice. So that was 285 stitches. It's at 4.04% already, which is amazing. So that was fun. Then my next prompt on Friday was stitch toward your goal. And my goal on this piece is to finish it by the end of the year. Hopefully before that, in another month or two. So this is Those Who Sing by the Drawn Thread. I'm working in the house. I didn't get a huge amount done because there's a lot of house there, but progress is progress. Oh, that's right. It's in the bag because it's very skinny, so it just rolls up. So here we go. This is where this one got to. Not a whole lot, but you can see there on the bottom. I guess I'll do before and after. This is 32 count, mushroom slushy linen, not linen, it's Lugana probably, by Fabric Flare. And I worked in the house, so I got a few more links of thread down there. I figured, like, I started to do some red because it makes more sense to my brain to do the windows first, but since the house is white, I felt like I should do the white first. So, because if the window shutters are red, like a over-dyed floss, I might get some fuzz on my white stitches as I'm stitching next to the red shutters. So in order to keep my white very white, I'm going to do the white first. So there's that. Not a whole lot, but every little bit counts. And I will be pulling this out, not this week, but the next couple weeks. It'll get 2 days each. So we'll see how much I can do. Then I worked on Summer Montage for the theme, part of a series, because I'm doing all 4 of these montage patterns. Our artwork by Janet Stever, charted by Pain Free Crafts. I'm up here in the rose block, and I'd like to finish the rose block before moving on to the watermelon, and then I'll move on to the corn, and then I'll do this one. You know, that's kind of how I'm planning to work it. So this got 375 stitches, which is fun. It's on 28 count mushroom Lugana, I think 1/1 full cross. And I had a couple stitches along the edge of the rows that were next up in my symbol picking in the second row here that were onesies and twosies as well, kind of in the edge, so down here a little bit. But then I finally got to some colors in the rows that had more fill in, so that was nice. That was much appreciated. That'll come out again this Sunday for my back to my typical seasonal Sunday. So we'll get some more work on it then. It is now at 2.4%. Then my last main project this week was Visit Endor, which was my Sunday stitch because the Olympics theme was something I planned to complete in 2024, which could apply to a few things, but I used it for this because I realized last time I worked on it, it was very close. So I went ahead and used it for that. This is by Country Magic Stitch. She also has an Etsy shop. And I finished the whole main scene, which is really fun, and got started on the word Endor. Oh no. Snagged a stitch with the corner of my folder. Snagged a stitch, so I'm gonna have to fix that. That's really sad. Okay, so here is where I got to. This is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, 2/1 half stitches, 501 half stitches. It's now at 91.77%. So super fun. The whole scene is now done. This, I went ahead and did the O because it was this lighter gray. So I just went, that I was working right here, just went straight down to finish my thread and then finished, didn't quite have the thread finished. So then I cut it and moved over here to the E. I still have this dark green on my needle because the shadow of all these letters is dark green. So I'll start working on the shadows too when I pull this out again today. So today will be its second day to start plans. And I like to give my family pieces 2 days every month. So today will be the second day on this. And I think I can launch into plans now. I will do my second day on Simpsons tomorrow, which the first day was last week for one of the Olympics challenges. So it'll be nice to kind of pull this out again. This is one I'm working on for my husband. It's a surprise. Still, we'll see if it stays that way. So here is my starting point. This is 40 count Verdal 1/1 half stitch. And sometimes I go and find the next symbol. Sometimes I just pick something to fill in to get a lot of stitches. So it kind of depends on my mood. So we'll see what I do on Tuesday. Depends on how much time I have, I guess, to stitch. This week might be okay. I might be able to go get some onesies and twosies in the more border confetti type stitches. Next week, I think I have a meeting on Tuesday, so that if it were a day like that, I wouldn't be able to, I'd probably pick a solid color and then just fill in to get a lot of numbers. So I think I might be able to do whatever next symbol is ready, which sometimes is a more fiddly color. My next day on Wednesday this week, I'm kind of, oh, I didn't bring the cover for this. This week is kind of a lot of catch up for the day. Some of the projects I had during the Olympics challenge that should have 2 days and only got 1. So Simpsons is the first one, or actually Visit Endor is the first one. Then Simpsons, now Winter Rose. I'm gonna pull this out for its second day. This is by Lavender and Lace, and it's one of my Whip Go pieces for July. No, August, just kidding, we're in August now. I have this color on my needle, so I'll finish that up and then see what's left. Maybe come over and do some more dress. We'll see how this goes. This is, I think, 46 count Vintage Misty Rain linen, 1/2 full cross with all the called for DMCs. And then Thursday we'll see My Second Day on Meadow by Carolyn Manning, which you just saw. And then Friday, Saturday, this will be my first like new thing for the month. It is not new, but you know, it's not something I've already worked on this month. Will be my another Whip Go piece for August. What is A Crazy Wonderful Owl Family by Anya Kai, artwork by charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am using 28 count Glacier by Picture This Plus instead of all the background. So I'm just going to stitch the owls. And I have been working typewriter method from the top down. So far we've got like the top of Papa Owl. So I don't know when I'll be able to get to her, but so far I'm just kind of picking those symbols. This will get 2 days back to back, Friday and Saturday. So, oh nice, I've got a nice amount on him. So here is my starting point on Crazy Wonderful Owl Family. This is the 28 count Glacier 1/1 full cross, and that's so fun. The colors are really nice. It is a little tight because it's Picture This Plus shrinks up a little, so it's tighter than a normal 28 count, but it's so cute and pretty, the fabric. So I'm not sure what will be next, if I'll keep working in him or if I'll be able to count over to Mama Owl next. So we'll have to wait and see what gets done. So that'll be fun to work on for a couple days. And then I will go back to summer montage on Sunday. And so the other thing I'm planning to start, like I mentioned before, the Spanish bike race will start on Saturday. And there's only 12 stitches that first day, 12 kilometers they're riding. This will be a good way to ease into it. I'm planning to work on my Shine Bright sampler, which is in the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book. It's in the back of that. I'm using the Shine Bright colorway, using Ari floss that the Fat Quarter Shop put together. And this is supposed to be a stitch along. That their last clue is, or the last chunk should be stitched in October. So I'm a little bit behind. I'm still working on May. This right here is May, and then this is June. Well, they have it here. They have it broken out. May, June, July, August. Oh, down here, September, and then October. So that's kind of how they had it broken up. So I'm behind, but I'm planning to work on it for this bike race, because even though this is not in Pattern Keeper, I will have to manually count my stitches. It's got so many big blocks of color that I think it'll be fairly easy to like tally them up. So I can maybe keep a calculator next to my chair, and for example, in here, you know, I'll just do a row and type in how many stitches that was and just count it up row by row, especially if I have a big chunk of like a square. Super easy to count. So I'm hoping that will work nicely. If it turns out to be too much, I will backpedal and not do the challenge, but I think it would be nice to try to get caught up somewhat on this one. This is 40 count Morganite linen by Fiber on a Whim. I'm doing it 1/2 full cross. So that'll be fun to get that back out again. Hopefully I can make some nice progress on that. You'll only see 2 days of progress before next time, but this bike race goes through the 8th of September. So I could get some nice progress on this. The first day is only 12 stitches, but most of the days are over 100, but they don't go over 200. So they're all between 100 and 200 stitches. So and there are 2 rest days. So I think it'll be okay. I hope it will be okay. So let's see. Last item of business. I mentioned last week that I have passed 14,000 subscribers on this channel, which is just mind-blowing. there's that many cross stitchers in the world that want to watch what I'm doing over in my little corner of Flosstube. So to celebrate, I'm going to have a discount code for my Etsy shop and 14 giveaways. So the discount code I'll put here will be 14K thanks. It's one I do often for the when I hit a milestone. And so that will be active for 14 days because that's just fun. Starting today all the way through August 25th, I guess, would be 14 days. So that'll give you 14% off because I have to. 14% off all PDF and print patterns. So kits and stuff are not included, but all the other just patterns, 14% off for 14 days. So you can use 14K thanks over there if you're so inclined. And the giveaways, I decided to do 7 quilt patterns and 7 cross stitch patterns to equal 14 total giveaways. And they're all from the Fat Quarter Shop, things I've been sent. And so yeah, let's just get started. I'll have a keyword for everything. So if you'd like to enter for something, please use the keyword in some way in your comment, but don't use things like giveaway or win, free, prize, anything like that, or I'll have to delete your comment, which is really sad. But I want to make sure it goes to you guys, stitchers and quilters, not trolls who just want free stuff. So the first one is actually a set. Most of these are single standalones, but these were so tiny. I thought, you know what? Let's just put them all together. There's 5 of these little quilt patterns on the boardwalk, 2 by 2, hullabaloo, honey crisp, and cross trainer. So there's all 5 of these that are really small. And they're called on the side, they say little peas. So it's like a series. And so the keyword for this set will be little. Put the word little in your comment. And then the next pattern will be the Foxtrot pattern by Jocelyn Ewing. The keyword for this is fox. And I'm trying to use words that would be not too hard to spell. This is the next one. It's called Beechwood by, again, Jocelyn Ewing. And this is, the keyword is wood, because beech is like a tree, the beech tree, but I didn't want people to spell it wrong and then have it be weird. So I just said wood. The keyword is wood. This one is Chantilly, also by Jocelyn Ewing. For these ones, I thought it'd be fun to have like more fall themes. I have a lot of this half-size quilt pattern to give away, but I picked 3 that were kind of fall themed because we're going into fall now. This one, the keyword is Chantilly. It's up here as well. I think I'll maybe edit the words in too to make it easy for you. So then I have 3 full-size quilt patterns. This is it's called Sun Drops and Star Flowers by Kim Deal. And I figured the keyword for this could be sun. Just keep that easy. And then another Kim Deal Morning Gatherings. So the keyword for this one is morning. And a Lori Holt pattern called Crows in the Corn, which is very cute. So the keyword for this is crow. And the next 7 are cross stitch. So the first one is Wintertime. This is one of the Stitch Quarterlies. And I have another copy of this, so I figured you guys could have this one. So this is, keyword is winter. It's got a cute little stack, a polar bear, an Arctic fox, and a penguin. Very sweet. And then Bunny's Bakery. And you can see the words there. It's on like a light blue fabric. And this one, the keyword is bunny. And then we have Springtime Ornaments. It's a thicker book. It's got all sorts of little things. Chicks, flowers, there's a cupcake, a hat, bunnies, eggs, carrots. And this one, the keyword is spring. The next one is the Quilted Scarecrow, but this is the cross stitch pattern that matches the quilt of the same name. So this is a cross stitch pattern. Very cute. He's all patchworky and quilt-like. So this one, the keyword is scarecrow. And then we have Be My Honey. This was another, I think it might have been in a Stitch Quarterly, I'm not sure. But Be Sweet on there. So this one, the keyword is honey, because it's got a big honey pot there. And keep that in mind because the next one is Beehive House, which is one of the hometown neighborhood houses. And this one, the keyword is bee, because it's the beehive. So this one is bee, the other one, this one is honey. And then the last but not least is another hometown neighborhood, the topiary house. And this one we'll just use the word house. So hopefully you like one of those and you want to, or multiple. I think it'd be okay to open it worldwide, so feel free to enter for anything. And I will draw the winners. I might give you a full 2 weeks to go along with the sale in my shop. So on the 26th of August, I'll draw 14 names. So yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, just remember not to use the troll words and put one of those keywords in your comment. You can enter for as many as you want, but I'll probably limit it to 1 per person because I want to have 14 winners. So that'll be fun. With that, I think that's everything I have to share today. And so I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy what you're working on and happy stitching. Bye.